right, next up we have Kylie, LeGate, Heather Weise, and Emily Witt from Psychology presenting on a novel procedure to assess impulsivity and self-control in adolescent rats.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kylie, LeGate, and this is Heather and Emily, and we're part of a research lab studying impulsivity in the psychology department. We study underneath the supervision of Dr. Carla Ligorio. So could I get a show of hands of how many people sometimes after a long day of work choose to forego the grocery store and instead go through a drive-thru? Yeah, and this is despite knowing the long-term health risks that are associated with this choice. Some of you may do this more often than others as well. This is an example of impulsivity, and although this might not seem that significant, impulsivity is also related to clinical disorders such as pathological gambling, obesity, and substance abuse. To further emphasize the significance, in 2015 alone, 21.7 million people entered substance abuse treatment centers in the U.S. And additionally, this was estimated to cost us approximately $740 billion annually to treat these individuals.
Because of societal costs and concerns, researchers have been interested in studying ways to decrease impulsivity. One issue is that these studies tend to be very long-lasting and costly, which they usually last up to about 10 months. This is what our lab is aiming to address. We've been developing procedures that will reduce the time it takes to study impulsivity and which will speed up efforts to increase self-control choices. Not only can we start diagnoses sooner, but also treatments. This might surprise you, but impulsive behaviors are often modeled in the non-human laboratory. Indeed, different variables that are anticipated to predict impulsive behaviors are often looked at in animals before they're assessed in humans. Because of the importance of studying impulsivity in non-humans compared with the excessive amount of time it takes, our lab has determined that it's important to try and find a way to shorten this and see if we can still generate reliable and valid treatments in the process within the shorter time frame.
Through our research, we've been able to reduce the time it takes to collect data from 10 months down to just 1 week. We've been comparing our results with that of the more established yet lengthy procedure, and we've been yielding very reliable data, despite ours taking a fraction of the time. Our rapid results have huge implications, allowing researchers to save time and expenses when studying impulsivity, in ways to decrease studying impulsivity. In addition, it allows us to examine time-sensitive developmental periods such as adolescence and laboratory animals. Now think back to yourself, sometimes choosing the fast food over the healthy home-cooked meal, and to the 21.7 million Americans that enter substance treatment centers every year. If we knew that these individuals had a predisposition to impulsive choices, we could intervene sooner and help decrease this costly problem.
Thank you.
So just a question. So is there a correlation between convenience versus impulsivity? I mean, is it not correlated or?
Convenience as in if something's easier to obtain, like if you can get something sooner, it's typically more reinforcing for you. So taking less time to go to the grocery store, that might take you an hour, and then you go home, you have to spend 45 minutes making dinner. That's obviously going to start looking a lot less attractive than, oh, I can swing by and get my meal in 5 minutes and it's going to be delicious. So there's definitely the correlation between convenience and impulsivity.
The difference with convenience is the payout. If the convenient thing doesn't give you as much, or if it's not as good for you, it's an impulsive choice to go with convenience over spending a little bit more time to get either higher quality or excessive amounts.
So if it negatively affects your health or some other factor, that would and you know it.
Yeah, usually when you pick the drive-through option, you're not thinking about these long-term options.
Right.
You're thinking about the immediate right now. Right. So it's a lot harder to change your look to think about that longer, more rewarding choice futuristically.
Versus when you could just have it immediately. Right. It's more like instant gratification.
Sure. Sometimes you get buyer's remorse.
Don't we all?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.